Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to Arc Mode, The Blindness of Eternity. When last we left off, we just picked up 2 party members, and we were about to head back into the wilds that we had started out in. So, we picked up a few different quests over the course of what we've been doing here. And some of them involve stuff in this area, some of them do not. So we'll just get over here, pop out here, to Valewood, and everyone should be able to fight for a decent period of time without getting tired. So let's see here. First things first, let's go after those bandits that we were almost able to solo. I think that they are a good choice to go after. So we have 54 accuracy right now, and I'm thinking that it might be a good idea let's see, 12 accuracy. Well, it'll depend on the enemies that we're fighting, whether that's going to be worthwhile or not. So as for him, he needs to turn this on, and he'll leave this on. And basically what I want is for him to just accumulate aggro on the enemies. I'm going to go ahead and equip this on her. And I think that's it for now. So we're going to stick with the one-hander for now. I think that accuracy is actually an extraordinarily powerful stat. You get a lot out of it, so I guess I should read this all out again because it's been a while. So, the young dwarf tending to the stew looks up, startled as he sees you approach. He drops his ladle and spilling stew across the ground. What? Get her, you dogs, and make sure our new cook doesn't run off. Help! Please help me! One of the bandits gives 10 for the kick as they pass him and he huddles.
Of course.
Okay, so we're just gonna pop over here.
Sure.
And we're gonna get these 2 over here. So we're gonna try to knock this guy down if possible. Cast these, but we do need to. So let's take a look at how Eldrea is doing here. So Eldrea grazes him. She has a plus 31, so right now she has a 31% chance to get a critical hit. And there we go. 17 points of piercing damage. Plus 41 actually. And we chunked him. So she crits for 18. Gets an interrupt. This is hitting her for some completely meaningless quantity of damage. So, do we need any of this crap on us right now? I don't think so. Actually, take the hatchet. Okay, take one of these.
Eh?
Let's see, we got some more leather armor here, but that's nothing new.
How do you do?
By the flame, thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought I'd be stuck cooking for these ignorant weasels the rest of my life, or until they were bored with me, I suppose. Did Pasca send you? She must be beside herself. I must get back at once, but listen, the next time you're in Gilded Vale, make sure to drop by the Black Hound. I'll let her know what you've done for me, and I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh, to be back at my oven again. So we gained 500 experience from that. Include all this food. This is a rod. I don't know if that's good for him. Okay, so we have two choices here. We can either go after the wolves first, or we can go after the bear first. And I think that going after the bear first is a good idea, because the bear is going to require more of our resources. So let's try to kill it ASAP. Level. We have 7,500 experience to get to the next level because of the fact that we're gonna get a third of the experience. I think. I'm not actually positive because there's some weird mechanisms there that I don't fully understand. So this is a scepter. This is a rod. So rods are the largest of the magical implements, can be distinguished from rods and scepters by the heads on each end. Rods focus and release more soul energy than wands or scepter. This attribute makes their blows more powerful, but they recharge and fire more slowly. I think that this is probably better. Yeah. Because he doesn't hit very hard with that thing, so being able to deal a little bit of extra damage is definitely a good thing. Now, let's see what we can do here. I don't know how much damage these do. I do know that his accuracy is pretty much crap. So let's give him a hatchet. This hatchet will give him +5 to his deflection. So this will give him basically a good defensive setup to tank with, which he's going to desperately need for this. Okay, so we are going to use this fetid stuff. Is this paralyzed? This is paralyzed for 5 seconds. That's perfect. So let's try and kill it. Well, we're not going to kill it, but let's try and get as much damage into it as possible while it's paralyzed. So that thing is now badly injured. I'm going to try to get it knocked over. We successfully knocked it over. That's useful. Unfortunately, I think he's dead. Yeah, it knocked out Eder. This thing is only at half life. This is not even close to dead yet. So let's use another fetid blah on him. Did it work? Nope. So let's take a look at how Eldrea is doing here. She has a +16, which is pretty good.
Let's go.
I think she's gonna die. Yep. Okay, we're gonna load this. I think that we are going to have to do some more long duration debuffs on this thing. Let's see what spellbook actually. How do I look at my spellbook? Okay, inventory and then right click. So 26 seconds is a very long time, but what does blind do? Perception is reduced by 4, reflex and deflection are... So accuracy is reduced by 25, so and then deflection is reduced by 20. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to blind it, and then we will try to paralyze it after that.
Got it.
Hey, all right then.
Yeah.
The goal here is to flank it. Shit. And that's not going to end well for us. Let's see. Let's blind. Okay, so the one that's attacking me is blind. This one is not. And this is going to end very badly. She's toast. Let's load this. Let's take a look here. It just crit her for 50 points of damage. It has a plus 45. That is how crazy accurate this thing is. Wow. Its accuracy is 82. That is a lot of accuracy. So these things, this bear is going to be critting a lot, which is going to basically just completely negate any defenses that we have. Now, one issue is that I don't think we're going to be able to flank this thing. Okay, so that's the thing. Let's try and knock him over. We should have done that at the very start, but I am done. So.
Eh?
Okay, so I'm going to try to knock him over, and I'm going to try to paralyze him. Did I get him? Yes, I did. So he's blinded and paralyzed. I'm going to try to get some good hits here. So let's see if we can get another hit in. If we can get this bear toast when it comes out of the thing, then we'll actually get this fine.
Got him.
Gotcha. Killed the bear. So we still have the two little ones, but I think that the two little ones will be relatively easy to manage. So I'm just gonna have him attack this one. Yeah, that one's bad. They're both badly injured already. That one's toast. And he's dead, but, well, he's unconscious anyway. Oh, he's not even unconscious because of his ability saving him. His armor has an ability that gives him a second chance. So there we go. That's the bear's done. Nice and easy. I didn't set my alarm. Because I am done. Sorry. Start another 45-minute time.
Hi?
Yeah.
Hi. And here we go. We can talk to this corpse here. It would be very strange to do this before you find out that you're a watcher. A figure drifts suspended in the musty air of the cavern. Its form and features blur and twist in cascading ripples of incandescence. You feel its energy eddying about your limbs, filling them with a heavy chill. You reach out a hand to the spirit. In a moment of contact, you feel as if you've been struck a blow, head reeling as you tumble helplessly into waiting darkness. Light blooms at the edge of your vision. You feel the sun at your back and the weight of a bow in your hand. You know suddenly that you've come a long way from the vale hunting deer. Now you're standing before a cavern, and the darkness extends far into its depths. Even so, your friend strides out before you, his red cloak flapping at his heels. You follow, heart hammering in your chest, as he leads you deeper into the cavern. There's a roar like thunder echoing around you. Fear seizes you, casts you stumbling back towards the exit, toward light and escape. You see a glint of steel, and there's a sudden, terrible flash of agony behind your knee. You scream, stumble, fall. Your thoughts are chaos lanced with pain. But in a moment of terrible clarity, you see your friend look back from the mouth of the cavern, his dagger daubed in crimson to match his cloak. And then there is a great dark shape above you, and then there is more pain. The vision recedes, and you are thrown back into yourself with seemingly resentful force. The corpse lies at your feet, the specter lingers. On the span of energy between them both, you feel a sense of questioning, of confusion, of anger. Go number one. Sudden lashing anger emanates from the spirit. Rage and grief seem to pour from the gleaming figure like smoke. Go number one. For a moment, the spirit seems to burn brightly, and your head fills with a sickly triumph. The spirit seems to weaken with the force of his own exaltation, growing fainter and fainter until you're alone once more.
Eh?
So, we have a very upset ghost because this guy, you guys remember the person who was talking about his friend who died in this hunt? Yeah, that guy is the guy that abandoned this guy. We also saw him at a young lady's home. Neither of them, both of them seem to be quite ready to leave very quickly. So I think that they both were in on it. They both know what was going on there, not just the guy. So we'll go investigate that. But first, I'm going to explore over here. So he has 58 defense right now. It's a pretty good amount of defense. It's not too bad. I'm going to see if I can pack them into this corridor and prevent them from getting a meaningful stack on me. It looks like I can. So we've got 2 young wolves, and I did not give her a reach weapon, which I should have. Okay. I'm not going to do anything special with these, I don't think. Oh yeah, I will. I'll just blast them with an arcane assault, because I can hit pretty much the whole pack with this. Like 3 anyway. So we have a young wolf near death. We have an injured young wolf. We have a badly injured young wolf. I'm going to have him attack the big wolf. So I'm going to have her stand still. Never mind. Kill this one. And these 2 are both going to stand still.
Yes.
The X key will cancel their attacks. So we're going to attack this wolf.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these 2 are both in melee range with this guy now. I'm going to go ahead and pop this. Oops. What just happened? That's interesting. What are you doing? Didn't I just tell you to hit this guy? So, my characters are kind of acting slightly insane. This one's knocked over. We can hopefully beat it up before it gets up. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, so we're just going to knock it over again. There we go. So hopefully we'll be able to kill it this time. No. Fine. One more time. Okay. So by getting behind this guy, we're going to be flanking him and thus increasing our crit chance. Boom! Plus 22.
Sure.
Not too shabby. It was actually a lot easier than I remember it being. Egg? What's all this then, eh? Okay, so that was pretty simple. Examine the wall more closely. Given the right tools, one might easily reach the top. Well, let's see if I can scale it. Okay, the crumbling wall is of considerable height even now, and its uneven surface promises a difficult climb. Who will scale it? I'll do it myself. Okay, the bricks are slick with moss and set at strange angles, but you make your way steadily up the crumbling roof. Once there, you're able to help the rest of your company up and over the side. So we can grab this stuff. Look at the scrawled letter. I do not think you will ever see this, but you were right, Fulvano. We should have journeyed south together and been safe before it. I would tolerate all the gloating in the world if I might live to hear it. I have put myself out of reach of the beast circling below, but I am done for all the same. I do not think I will rise again. Whoever finds this, pray for me. Perhaps the next life I shall be the trapper of wolves. Okay, so this is Fulvano's gloves. Though never as famed as he would claim, the valiant explorer Fulvano was known as an eccentric who wished to travel the world. Or see the world, rather. Where possible, he traveled by foot to gain locals' appreciation for the sights, sounds, and smells of the lands he passed through. In practice, however, Fulvano often claimed that his explorations proved only that the world outside of alien republics was this foul, smelly place that paled in comparison to his homeland. These gloves are said to have belonged to Volvano, who often found himself in need of some protection as he climbed harsh terrain and maneuvered through forests. While thick enough to provide some warmth, they are meant first and foremost to be flexible enough not to hinder with delicate tasks. So these give a little bit of reflex. Just put this into the- I'll do that later. We don't need the leather armor. We can get the camping supplies.
Eh?
We cannot get the camping supplies, rather. Because we are full up. And there we go. This area is done. That was actually really fast. The first time I did this, it was substantially slower. I still had the same number of people, it's just that I just didn't play the game nearly as well. Okay, so we have done this. Let's go to... Let's see. I guess we'll go down south. Yeah, let's head down south to the Magrant's Fork. It'll take 12 hours to get there. It's a long time. It's a lot of traveling. Let's hope that we don't get fatigued when we do this. No fatigue yet.
No problem.
I guess while we were heading by, we could have turned in the quest that we just did. Oh, hello. So let's get him in front, get her behind,
How may I help?
get him attacking.
Yeah.
So there's one big wolf and one little wolf. We can go ahead and flank, use our good stuff. Just try to use both of the knockdowns on him. He's prone for long enough that we're gonna hit him with both of these. And now we'll just keep hitting him. And I just failed on the knockdown. Try it again. Fail. She's knocked down, unfortunately, but it's okay.
Eh?
There we go. We have finished up on wolves. We finished the bestiary
Yeah.
for it. And save the game. Volmar. Ah, oh hello there, begging your pardon, but you gave me a good fright. I thought I heard some rustling through the brush, so suppose it was just you. Silly of me. So I suppose you happen to need some supplies. I thought I'd make my way over to Madhammer Bridge, but I'm starting to think I'm better off heading back to town and getting a few more things together. Better safe than sorry, right? Say, did you hear something?
How may I help? All right,
Eh?
then.
The fact that I know which direction they're going to be coming from saves me a reload.
Hey.
Possibly. I might not have needed to reload
Of
for
course.
it, but there's a pretty decent chance that I would. So let's just get behind this thing.
Let's go.
Looks like it's only the two. Or the two big ones and then the one little one. So I missed on that. They unfortunately did not. Let's keep pounding into them. And I'm just gonna keep attacking this one because I was pretty sure that oh, that must have been him that I told to do that. Whoops.
You're doing the job.
I do think that it's best to do the knockdowns early. So we're now flanking this guy. We've used both of our things. And he's doing fine. He's up to, or down to rather, 180 HP, but
Eh?
he
Sure.
should be okay. 158.
Eh?
We're gonna need to start keeping track of his hit points because he's getting pretty low.
Sure.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, we're saving the game. Talking to him again. By every star in the sky, thank you. I've never seen those beasts so bold before. Strange times we're in. Here, take these. I'm headed back to Gilded Vale for certain. You can make better use of them. So we got 3 potions of minor endurance. Not too shabby. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything bigger than that. That's not good. And she is... I think she's gonna
Hey.
tank this one for now. I'm gonna just try and knock him over before we even have to worry about the whole tanking business. And is that what happened? Yes, he is prone for 5 seconds.
Leave it to me.
And he is surrounded. Let's try to prevent him from getting back up. So it's prone for 3 more seconds. Missed. There we go. Eldray hits the wolf for 0 slash damage. Now this I'm curious about.
Eh?
I guess it did 0 damage because the thing was already dead. Okay, so we've cleared out that wolf. Check the western passage. Save the game again. This game is very similar in some respects to the original Baldur's Gate. The way that it handles the area transitions and stuff. So let's get this fine greatsword.
Eh?
This fine greatsword. Your reflection warps and twists into the live gleaming Adra. So, he has 58 defense right now. Can I match that with her? If I were to give her this. So plus 12, then plus 5. So right now she's got 49, plus 5 would be 54. So can't quite match what he's got. But we can come pretty close. I think that we're going to do that. We're going to basically swap the weapon sets. Their accuracy just became total trash. And let's figure out what he's actually good with in terms of weapons. He's good with sabers, stilettos, clubs, pistols, and blunderbuss. So let's give him a saber. He has 54 accuracy with this. So good. This should be good. So we're just gonna basically reverse what we did just now. And that should go pretty good. So now she'll be the one who's not terribly damaging, but is very defensive. The only issue is that she can't really hold a pack the way that he can. So we just found the south exit, which I guess is good. I'm going to turn off this thing for him.
Yeah.
And we'll see what I can do over here.
Yes?
Yeah.
Apparently I can say hello to the butterflies. Imagine that. Okay, so we can say hello to the ghost. Hi, ghost! Okay, so there is what we were looking for. And my recollection of how this went last time. And yes, you guys are going to get the slightly more optimized strategies
Saw you in the flame.
that I did the first time. Oh, right. This guy. He's not even in my party yet. I guess we should probably do that. So, spoilers, it is? Squatting at the base of the statue is an incredibly ugly man with bulging red cheeks raked by pox scars and a scraggly beard. He is sweating as if he has a fever, but his breathing is measured and steady, like a slow push of a blacksmith's bellows, but that comparison seems strange and unwelcome. The next comparison, possibly sparked by his grin, is that of a bear trap. And then out of nowhere, there's the hint of alchemical fire that fades almost as soon as you identify the smell.
Come to pray at the statue?
The question mark is barely there. As the man makes the statement, the statue takes on a reddish cast, as if one is holding a torch to it, then slowly blossoms into waving flames. The man doesn't turn as the statue blossoms into fire.
The others are welcome, but it's best if just you and I trade words, and your shadows stay quiet. Hands off their weapons, both arcane and steel. It's only you I want to trade words with anyway. I swear before the whore that is Margaret, no harm will come to you in her shadow, if that's enough of a promise for you. If not...
I'm going to go ahead and go with number 3. The sudden weaving flames from the statue Magrin casts more light on his features. The man's robes are dirty, stained with grease and other marks of the robe. The hems of his robes, including the sleeves, are burned at the edges as if he walked a great distance across fire, then reached into the flames with his hands to pull something out. But while his hands are thick and callous, they bear no burn or scorch marks. Same with the statue itself. The weaving firelight from the statue gives off no heat, so much so if you wonder if it's a trick of the mind. The ugly man before you doesn't seem to notice it or feel it, although the sheen on his brow is still present as if he's burning up from within. Okay, so we'll look at the staff itself. The staff looks thick, stout, and blackened ash once burned by a terrible fire. Beneath the ash, the lines of wood bear shapes and patterns, and there's certainty the staff was once far more dangerous, but not now. As you study it deeper, it shimmers slightly in your eyes, like water catching the light weaving across the statue. Whatever power was bled from the staff doesn't make it, or the wielder, any less dangerous. You look up to see the man watching you studying the staff. As his gaze meets yours, he nods with humorless smile. Number 1. The man smiles slightly at your words, then nods. He's never taking his eyes off you. I could do better, though the road holds little else. Until now.
The world holds many whores we worship. Respect comes with honest titles. I bet even you have gone against instinct in exchange for a little copper, or paid for such in countless ways. But if I give offense, if words are all that are left to a man, then why in the Deerwood of all places he should have leave to speak them?
Number 5.
I didn't give it. You probably find names as useless as I do. The names that litter this world like debris are hard enough to wrap around the tongue. And what do they matter? It's what's beneath the skin and the letters I care about. What burns within. It's more important to me you're a watcher than whatever culture or accent decorates your letters like awkward crowns. Take pride in your actions, not where you hail from, or how your name rolls off whatever liar's tongue coats it now. If you need a title to hang on me to match your own, Watcher, then call me Durance. And as you observe souls, I test them.
Gonna go there, number 1. I can see the questions bubbling up. Let's burn them away one by one.
I am a missionary. I walk this diseased nation with its heathen, its people so careless with the spirits of others and their own, watchers among them. Yes, I know you for what you are, and your name doesn't interest me. Names are for honest folk, and you are a crack that shines light from another place. We're meant to travel together, you and I. Saw you in the flames. Not your face, but that soul of yours. All tightened up, like a huntsman's knot.
Number 1.
There's things we can teach each other, if you're in need of answers to your mantle of questions. I don't force my words on anyone other than you. I don't care who walks with you or what their mewling problems and politics are. There's enough howling in the world without me stoking that fire. I won't take from your provisions, don't need much on the road. I can carry my weight, which is considerable. Many will stand against you. They probably already have, from what I can see. Left their marks, it seems. Like a trail, worming its way behind you.
Another one.
Disease? Spirit wind? Both could have touched you, yet here you stand. As for disease, not all of us were close to water when the pox hit, but it's no longer a passenger in my flesh. It left its marks as well. But like flames, the pox doesn't strike twice, nor is it catching.
Number 2.
Her? Don't fear her jealousy. Let us see what the road holds, Watcher.
Alright. So this guy is sort of interesting. Something to gain from what? Questioning one another. So let's question Emma.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Let me go to number 1. The why of it is you're a watcher. A watcher runs 2 roads of why. For me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words, or even bothered with you, but now seeking out watchers is what I do, to put truth to them, see which of the 2 ways they bend. Interesting. What kind of truth? Either you're a dry field in need of a harvest burning, or you're lost in the darkness. Either way you can see differently from others. I can tell by the way you notice the staff first off. Not many can see it at first, nor the etchings or the flames, but your eyes traced the path. That I could see. Interesting, so the flames and the staff have some sort of spirit-based stuff. Let me go with number 1. The day we don't trade that question back and forth is the day our paths no longer need to be joined. And the trial is done. I don't think he's talking about that kind of trial, so number 2 is kind of done. So I'm going to go with number 1. Trial in this regard, I think he's referring to hardship and challenge. So let's go. You know this nation is diseased. Don't need to be a watcher to see it in the children, the politics, the men that stalk the roads with knives in hands and murder in their eyes. This land needs life again, new seeds planted in a burned soil. And something tells me you can see the path to making that future happen, Watcher. Your kind always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, its people, don't need any more lies blinding them, nor do I. You test a truth. You don't blindly accept it. How do you plan to test me? Sharing the road, of course. One truth to match another, matching each other's pace, keeping rhythm. Other priests can keep their teachings and rantings. For my faith, my teaching, sharing the road is simple, hard truth. And when you knock one truth against the leg of another, why, both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee at the same force, his smile dies and his eyes narrow. Why, you make a cripple with but one leg to stand on. Is that why you carry that staff? Is that why I... Durance is about to launch another volley of words, blinks, then he rolls his head back and laughs deeply, the laughter coming until it seems the air will run out of his lungs until it seems forced. Perhaps your words are worth listening to, Watcher. He frowns, any trace of humor gone. But the truth will win out. Keep pace and we'll see. So,
the cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
By the way, I never actually talked to this guy much on the first run. We have already pretty much reached the point where I'm in the blind. I finished this area, but I never talked to this guy much. So, I'm going to have him tell me about his deity, who he refers to as a whore. Oh, you know her, you must. He gives a bitter chuckle, then his tone evens out. She's a many-headed bitch. Interesting. So...
She's a goddess. as fickle as they come, and with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
That sounds like foreshadowing, actually. A god with too many nations to oversee only serves to spread herself too thin. It's like he's talking about Aldrea's future. Just saying. Although flame rarely crosses twice. So perhaps that's the only truth she embraces. Who knows? Gods get greedy. When it comes to fire, fire is a hot god's hunger. Interesting. Need to learn about
I suspect the answers will seed more questions.
Number 4. Gonna go to number 4. Glances at the staff and at you and gives a crooked smile. Can't take your eyes from it. I'm gonna go with number 1.
Carved? This staff is a history. Acts leave their mark. Some symbols fall into the ash, others blaze brighter. Memory, meaning. It's same as the memories in your head, perhaps more trustworthy. Random acts, things done with instinct. They may make lines, burning briefly through the wood. Acts devised, planned, that stay with you. Symbols form and tell the story. It's like all memories, except the staff burns it true. When a thought's close, you see it clearer, brighter. Once you forget, they get buried. But like rings in wood, the etchings remain. Keeps me grounded. Also, it's a solid walking stick.
I went with number 2. Why the Watchers can see it. They are energies of the spirit, a channel for one's faith. It's hard to say. There was a time when they glowed brighter, but now they are an aid in my work. Because the staff's markings stand out to a watcher, well, they sometimes identify themselves. And sometimes they're blinded to the staff as well. A gift of Magrin, perhaps, to cloak itself from sight when one isn't looking for it. Interesting. I'm gonna go with 3.
That symbol, the Godhammer. It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood. It brought the Saints' War to an end, knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Aothis overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Aothis of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
Interesting.
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now.
Branch.
It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who had come to stand on the bridge to stop Aothis.
I'm gonna go number 2.
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Margaret, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests his staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment, the light flaring slightly. It splits into a ring of flames, one after another, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Aothis fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
And it blossoms brightly once and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle-like flame intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. And we shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer, marked by Margaret.
Gonna go number 1.
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Margaret, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory, being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Margaret was pleased by what we had done. The world is broken, the wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart, perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing 2 gods. Even as Margaret shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed. Just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Margaret's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
This is very interesting, actually. I'm glad
I remembered Margaret's teachings. How reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal? As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the war of black trees. Wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Margaret at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me. The road to Ashfall is long, gives one time to think. And if you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that, or had asked. Grab victory from defeat and...
What I grasp from this, my thinking, I'm tempted to put 2. I might just go with 3. But the way that I interpret this is that he thinks that he and his fellows, those 12, they pushed their deity beyond where, like, the portfolio, right, beyond where she is supposed to be going. That there was good intentions there, that the deity wanted to help, that they wanted to do this, but that they went too far. That's the basic gist, that he doesn't trust himself. And I think that his doubts fundamentally stem from himself. So I'm actually going to go with number 2. Let's see.
There is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widewen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests, did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
I'm gonna go with number 5. Actually, I doubt that Magrin wanted the purges, so I think that this is probably true. But I'm gonna go with number 5. Sweat collects on the sooty creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is for once at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of the dirty hand.
Huh? Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
Durance glares at you, and staring in his eyes gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
I think these talks are his trial, not mine. So I'm gonna go with number 1. People seek out Watchers because they want guidance. That's what I've gathered from people in the setting so far. I don't think that he's seeking out Watchers to test them. I think he's seeking out Watchers because he himself is desperate for guidance. I'm gonna go with number 1. We chose the bridge because we could control it. There's a place where we could choke Aethys in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall, a narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was the spine of the deerwood, symbolic of the backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Any weapon. I suspect Aethys knew that as well, and so did his vessel. In its arrogance, he intended to walk upon the bridge as if walking on the backs of the deerwood. And we intended to burn him with the light of our faith and his. 12 on that bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it.
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit.
Another one.
Each of the 12 who brought the Godhammer forth would have done anything to save the Deerwood, save its people. It is why we were chosen. Each of us hated this pretender. That rage, that spirit, that rebellion went into our work, and went into studying him as well. We all studied Widewind. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us. You don't kill the god, you kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin, burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did, at the cost of our own, and at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
Number 2. I don't know what dream I'm referring to, actually. Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the Godhammer's light, Watcher. I may feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others.
If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margaret, put them in a new light.
You know, this might be spoilers. Like, this conversation, I might be going into spoiler territory here, because I might be... I don't remember having a dream about him. So I'm going to go with number 1 anyway, just because presumably I'll have this dream at some point.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. Nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
Eh?
Interesting. So, he is half a man, it turns out. So we will leave him alone for now. We have a minute and a half to go before the end of the stream. So, I think what we're going to do is pop down here. We need to kill the boar, right? Oh, no, we didn't, did we? We didn't kill the boar yet. Well, that's going to make our lives easier. That means we know exactly what we need to do. So we're going to try to take out these boar. Just going to set him here. And what is this? Okay. Put this here. So she's the goddess of war and
Aye,
flame.
I shall. Of course.
Of course. So we're gonna see what we can do here. I'm gonna just try to grab these things and get to where we need to be. Get in there. No, get there. Oh crap. Didn't manage to get there in time. Also, ouch. That was very painful. I should have checked the damage rolls on that to see just how much it had done. Looks like we aren't where we're supposed to be either. It's crappy. I thought I had saved, but no. Okay, I think I'm going to try to do this one more time, and if it doesn't work out, then we're just going to immediately just end the stream there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, here we go. So, 22 points of piercing damage. Why do I only have 7.5? I should have 11 points of piercing. That's weird. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is just chill
Eh?
Yes?
in a good position.
There's a lesson to...
We're gonna cast a bless if we can. Where's bless?
How may I help?
We're gonna cast this.
be taught.
This is prone for not very long. Let's try and make it prone again. There we go. That's better. More what we're looking for. Whoa, that was fast. So, let's heal her. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cast this.
Okay.
Okay, so now we pop this defensive thing on him. And
How may I help?
see what we can do here. So he just went down, which is not good at all. Let's see. How long is this gonna last? Holy crap. Okay, so this lasts for 25 seconds. That actually lasts for way longer than I can allow for. So we're gonna actually have to do another one on him. Never mind, we're gonna just die. Okay, she is actually preventing... Nice. How long? There's still 5 seconds left in this. I'm just gonna keep torching. There we go. So, we just used the
Eh?
the power of fire and invulnerability. So basically, he was in a place where they couldn't reach, and she was blocking them even though she was invincible. So there was nothing they could do. So anyway, that is going to be it for this one, and I'll see you guys again next time.